What's up everybody, it's CJ, and I'm back with another Barnacle Bay renovation video. So today we're going to be renovating the Gills Carbo house. This is the house that Alice and Celeste stay at. So Alice is a single mom, she's raising her daughter Celeste by herself, and they live in this house, and honestly y'all, the house isn't really that bad. I mean, it's just a rectangle, so it's not the most interesting house of all time, but they live in this little like stony rectangular home, and it has a good amount of space. Like, it's not like cramped on the inside. I just thought it could use some work. So one of the first things I wanted to do was to give this house some shape, some dimension, just make it look more interesting than just a rectangle, you know? So I'm basically adding two little bump outs in the front, and I just added a couple of gabled roofs. So this will make the house a little bit bigger on the inside, and it'll look a lot more interesting from the outside, you know? Also, y'all, we had so much money for this renovation. We had like 30,000 simoleons. And I'm like, where the heck did she get this money from? I noticed she's like a divorced sim, so maybe, you know, it's from like the divorce or something, I don't know. But also, if you have late night install, Alice is a one-star celebrity, so I don't know, you know, I don't know where the money came from. I have no idea, but I'm not even gonna question it. She's also in the culinary career, and she's like, I think level 5, I want to say, so maybe she has a little bit of money from that. I don't really know. Okay, it's not really my place. All I know is that we had a lot of money to play around with, y'all, and it was kind of funny too, because her and her daughter both, their favorite color is pink, so I was like, why don't I just make a pink house? You know, I kind of just didn't realize how much money we had at first, y'all, but I was able to do so much stuff with this house. Now, it's still a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, but there's a lot more landscaping in the yard. I put a fence around the yard, which y'all know fences are expensive in The Sims, but we were able to have a fence around here. Honestly, 2 different types of fences, actually. There's these big cherry blossom trees, so like there's just a little bit of everything here, but in the end, it all kind of came together. It's slightly overgrown, but like in an organized way, if that makes sense. I could low-key see her starting a garden or something outside and just having like a lot of stuff outside. I didn't put any harvestables, but I could definitely see something like that, you know? We even have like a little trellis above the house, so like there's just so much stuff here, y'all. Like, I really love the way this turned out. I even went in and I redid some of the terrain paint to make it look a little bit different. I'm trying to clean up a lot of the extra dirt that we don't really need. So when we move on to the inside, as you can see, we have a little bit more space now because of those bump outs, and I wanted to kind of just go in first of all and just rearrange the floor plan. You know, EA loves to make really big bathrooms in the game, and I don't understand why. Like, I understand having space so Sims can maneuver, but you don't really need that much space in a bathroom usually, unless you have like a lot of Sims in a house or something. So I made the bathroom a lot smaller. It saves money, it saves space, and there's only like 2 people that live here, so we didn't really need a big bathroom at all. I did go in and I'm adding some of these by debug lights. Sometimes people ask me about these. These are like cheat code lights, basically. You use them to make the build a lot more brighter. Make sure you have testing cheats enabled true turned on. Then you have to put in the by debug on cheat as well, and then you can use them. So I use them in honestly almost all my builds to just make the build a lot more brighter, you know? So now, as you can see, the floor plan has kind of taken a shape. I low-key got inspired out of nowhere to have the living room section be carpeted, but the rest of it be like hardwood floor. I'm using a fence to kind of like map out a little section. So the kitchen has tile, the middle of the room is hardwood floor, and then over here we have carpet. I know I don't do it that often, and I just thought it looked kind of cool, you know? So over here we have the living room section, so I'm using that really big TV from the base game. I haven't used it in a while, and I kind of wanted to bring it back. And I'm also using some of these couches from the contemporary set from the Sims 3 store. I don't really know what the name of the couches are, but they're from the contemporary set. I'm also using this little sunflower rug. I was really trying to dive into the mom vibes of this house, so we have a sunflower rug. We have a little end table over here as well. We didn't have unlimited funds, so like there was more stuff that I wanted to add that I was like, maybe I should stop so we can have money for other stuff. But honestly, y'all, if I had like unlimited budget, this house would be way more cluttered. There'd be stuff everywhere. I also wanted to put a lamp in the corner, so I'm using the one from the Fastlane stuff pack. I recolored the rug and the TV a little bit as well, and I just think it looks so cozy over here. I did also add a painting because I thought this wall needed something because it was kind of looking bare, so I'm adding this really nice painting from the Sims 3 store. We have like some flowers on the floor by the TV as well. And then now we move on to the kitchen. So as you can see, I have a little half wall to kind of like separate the kitchen from the living room. I'm using some of these base game countertops, and we also have a slightly better stove and fridge this time around. I'm also adding some upper cabinets. I'm using this older looking range hood. I don't know why, but it just kind of gives mom vibes. We also have a coffee machine, and we also have a microwave as well. Like I said earlier, Alice is really into cooking, so I really wanted her to have a nice little kitchen space where she can cook and make stuff and stuff like that. Maybe in the future, if she ever moves out, we can have a really big house with a really big kitchen or something like that, you know? But for now, this will do the job. I also wanted to give her a smaller table because we didn't really have a lot of space in the corner. So I'm using the table, I forgot what set, but it's from like the diner set from the Sims 3 store. It's like the little square one, and I also matched it up with the chairs because I thought it looked kind of cool. A little bit retro, but I think it looks nice in the kitchen. I'm also going in now and I'm adding a accent wall for the living room and the kitchen just so it can look a lot different. It's more like a pinky, like dusty pink brick color, but I thought it looked nice in the kitchen. I also went back and I added this little bulletin board behind the table. I could imagine that maybe Alice is trying to like keep track of meetings and like school stuff and all that, so she has like a little bulletin board where she can keep track of stuff. But that's basically like everything for the little kitchen. I also wanted to make sure that I replaced the original doors with some nicer ones, so I'm using these from the Sims 3 store. I also added some plants in here as well. I kept the base game bookshelf. I was going to swap it, but I like this one, so I kept it. And then I also wanted to put a really big rug in the middle of the room just to kind of like add something there. But honestly, y'all, I'll say again, we had so much money to play around with. So it was almost like I didn't really know what to do at a certain point. I'm like, bro, I'm not used to having this much. Like, if anything, I'm used to putting too much stuff down and then having to delete stuff. So the fact that we had so much money, I'm like, bro, what am I going to do with everything? Like, what? So there's a lot of money left over, but yeah, we went through a lot of it. Now we move on to the kitchen. So I'm still using that same brick accent wall idea. I'm also adding, well, at first I was going to add some of these countertops from the kitchen, but I didn't really want to put 3. So I was like, maybe we could just use 1. Then I didn't really like the way that one looked. So I ended up using a pedestal sink, and I'm also using a mirror from the base game. Funny enough, I realized that the house used a pedestal sink and the same mirror when EA built it. So kind of funny how we went kind of full circle, right? But anyway, I'm using some of those. I also wanted to put a little medicine cabinet in here because like with pedestal sinks in real life, I feel like, where do you put your stuff? Like, I know like in real life people can have like, you know, drawers and stuff like that, but in The Sims it's like, where do you put your extra stuff, you know? So I gave them like a little medicine cabinet they can store stuff in there. And then next up we move on to the bedrooms. So like I said, it's still a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. So with Alice's bedroom, I really struggled, y'all. I went through so many different designs in here. Like at first I was using this wallpaper. It's from the Sims 3 store, but then I didn't really like the way it looked. So I was like, maybe we could use it for Celeste's bedroom instead. In the end, I used the wallpaper that I used in the other parts of the house, but I have like a little floral accent wall, and then it's like more like purpley pink on the other side. The color scheme also changed too, because at first it was more like pink and purple, but then it ended up being green and purple. There was just a lot of things going on with this bedroom, but in the end I think it looks decent. It kind of has like this tropical theme for it which makes sense. We are in Barnacle Bay. So I'm using the bed from the contemporary set from the Sims 3 store. I'm also using some nightstands. I think it's from the Villa set from the Sims 3 store. I'm using the matching dresser that's also from the Villa set as well. I used a standing mirror. The rug is also base game, and I also used the original lamp that was in the original bedroom, just to kind of have like a nice little callback. Plus I like the color of it, you know. But in the end, her bedroom was, I think, the one I spent the most time on, because it was just, I didn't really know what I wanted to do at first. But in the end, it all came together. Like, I like it. It's giving tropical vibes. So last but not least, we move on to Celeste's room. So Celeste is a couple of days from aging up into a teenager, so I knew that I wanted to give her a bigger bed. There's like a lot of kid stuff in here, but I feel like it's more like there is kid stuff, but it could also kind of work for a teenager, if that makes sense. So using this dresser from the Ambitions pack. I like the purpley pinky kind of color scheme, so I kind of went with that. It was kind of giving like Y2K in a way. This bed is from, I think, the mid-century set from the Sims 3 store, and then the end tables is from one of the teens room sets from the Sims 3 store. I also kept the little teddy bear that she had. I put it on the floor, and then I added a beanbag chair in here so she can have a place to sit and chill. There's a toy box. The one I'm using is from Supernatural, and then the mirror is, I think it's like from one of the fairy tale sets from the Sims 3 store, and I think that's where also her lamp, because I use like a flower lamp as well. But in the end, that's pretty much everything for her room. I think all I really do is just add a rug, and that one is from Generations, and we have a unicorn artwork on the wall. But in the end, that's pretty much everything for her room and everything for the entire house. I had a lot of fun renovating this one, y'all. We had so much money. I even was able to add a security alarm. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below, follow me over on Twitch where I stream a lot more of The Sims, and I'll also leave a link to this build down below if you want to download it. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this one, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!